Hey everybody, I'm Brian with Aromacup.com. Thanks as always for joining me here in my virtual coffee shop brought to you by Aromacup.com. I have a special two-part recipe for you today. I'm going to be using the Keurig Rivo single-serve espresso machine. It's got Lavazza technology in it, which is going to ensure that we get a really nice shot of espresso. And what I'm going to use this awesome machine to do is to show you guys the two ways that you can make a Caffè Macchiato. With that said, let's dive in and talk about these two recipes for Caffè Macchiato with the Keurig Rivo single-serve espresso machine. Okay, so what you're going to need for this recipe, no matter what, is a cup or a mug of some kind, and usually you're going to be okay with something a little bit small. I've got these nice Bodum double-walled cups here. This is an espresso shot cup, and then this one's just a little bit bigger for a slightly larger beverage. So you need a good cup, but nothing that's too big, because you're not going to be making a whole lot of beverage here. Then you're going to need a Rivo pack. These are specific to the Keurig Rivo. These are your espresso packs that you're going to use to make your espresso, of course. And you will need some milk, some nice cold milk. I've got some here in my stainless steel pitcher. This is just cow's milk. You can use pretty much any type of milk that you would want to use, but I'm just using regular cow's milk today. And of course, finally, you need your Keurig Rivo, which is going to brew your espresso, and it's also going to take care of frothing your milk. So let's dive in and talk about how this is done. Now, the first way to make a macchiato that I'm going to show you is going to be the American way of making a macchiato. Now, the American macchiato is a little bit different from the Italian macchiato because typically it has a little bit more milk to it. Now, macchiato literally means to mark. And there's our machine telling us it's ready to mark some milk. But what this means is literally to mark. And what this was usually used was by baristas would use this to give waiters knowledge by looking at a beverage of which espresso drink had milk in it, because espresso usually wouldn't have milk in it. So they would mark the espresso with a little bit of milk. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place my espresso cup, and I'm going to open up the Rivo. I'm going to place my Rivo pack. Now I'm ready to start brewing. I'm going to do a short shot of espresso, just a single shot. Now the machine's going to start brewing pretty much almost immediately, which is great, moves very quickly, and gives you that shot of espresso. Now, of course, as I was saying, the whole purpose here is to mark your espresso with some milk. This is the American way of doing it, by the way. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to mark the espresso with some of our milk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my milk pitcher out while my espresso is being brewed, and I'm going to add some milk. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and go to about the max fill line today because, as I say, I'm going to show you two ways to do this, and I want some extra milk for what we're doing. Place our milk pitcher back into the Rivo. When we hear that beep, we know that the machine is ready to go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just brew some cappuccino foam, and all I need to do is press the cappuccino button here on the top row of buttons, which is the frothing buttons on the machine. Now, of course, when the machine is all done frothing up our milk, which we can see it's all done, it only took about a minute, give or take, not too bad. It's going to give us a lot of nice froth foam to use for our beverage. And that's because we have that frothing whisk that's connected to the lid right here. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to mark this just a tiny bit. We're going to mark our espresso with a little bit of milk. And I'll move my glass over right here. And I'm just going to mark this just a little bit. Just a little bit of milk, not too much. And then I'm literally just going to take kind of a dollop of foam and place this onto my espresso. So that right there is pretty much the way that you would expect for a macchiato to usually be made in most American coffee shops. It's got a lot more espresso, very little milk, but it's just marked just the tiniest little bit on the top with a little bit of foam. And you could, of course, adjust this based on how much milk you want to have in your beverage, but this is the way that I think you would usually see it in most coffee shops. Now, let's talk about doing this the Italian way. This is the way that I was used to doing it most of the time working in a coffee shop. I'm going to open up the Rivo again. I'm going to take a second Rivo pack, place it into the machine. So I'm going to mark my milk with espresso. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit of milk. You don't have to do too much. Give yourself some foam. Again, you can adjust this based on your liking. And depending on how much foam you like, again, you can vary this. I find that I like a good amount of foam. Now, we're just going to add this, and we're going to actually mark our milk using our espresso. So again, I'm going to use the single shot of espresso. Now, the Rivo likes to turn itself off all the time, so you need to turn it back on. When you hear that double beep, it's ready to start brewing. I'm going to do, again, a short shot of espresso. Now, usually, if you were to do this or get this in a coffee shop and have it done in this fashion, the espresso would be brewed separately into a small espresso pitcher of some kind, and then it would be poured into your milk in your cup, literally marking the milk with the espresso shot. Now, the reason you would use that espresso pitcher is it would let you essentially get better aim. You get a much more distinct mark in the top of the milk. But because we like doing things in one fell swoop here on Aromacup.com, we thought, well, we'll just use the machine to mark the milk. So right there, you can see now I have a nice little mark on the top showing my espresso. And I've got some nice layering going on as well. Now, this is sort of like a latte, but it's going to be a little bit stronger. Usually a latte is going to have a lot more milk in it. Again, you can vary this based on the recipe, however it is that you like to have your drink taste, but this is about the typical way that I would usually make a macchiato. Pretty simple recipe. I'll just overview that for you guys one more time. All you need to do this is, of course, some milk. You can use regular cow's milk, you can use soy, almond, whichever type of milk you may like. You need your Keurig Rivo machine, of course, and then you need a Rivo pack. Brew your espresso, do your milk, and then just decide which fashion you would like to make your macchiato in, and you're going to have an awesome little drink that's probably going to impress the folks that come over to your house, and you could even tell them one of my little stories right there about how the macchiato was made, both here in America and in Italy. Hope you guys found that useful. As always, please check out our other videos for more recipes and other information. We will help you to demystify the world of coffee. That's what we do best here at Aromacup.com. I'm Brian. I thank you guys for joining me in my virtual coffee shop. I invite you to join me again soon. Take care, and I'll see you next time.